Detroit, Jared Goff and the Lions, Sam Darnold and the Vikings. But the night was stolen, Swagoo, by Jahmyr Gibbs. What a performance.
Jesus, the explosion, the burst, and obviously when he gets to the edge, send everybody ass home. Because ain't nobody catching him, and we know what's going to happen.
The other storyline in this game, Dan, was Minnesota's failure repeatedly in the red zone.
Yeah, Sam Darnold passes up Jordan Addison at the top of the screen there. That's one of the storylines is missed opportunities. Jefferson begging for a hug. I think it was just straps up by Detroit's defense.
That one was on a 4th down. This one's on a 3rd and goal.
And we saw a missed read one time, and then this is a missed throw. Everybody all-out pressure. You get the double move. Sam Darnold's hit that all season long, misses it last night.
Lions 10-6 at the half. Early 3rd, 4th and goal. Again, they go for it.
And I would again say another missed opportunity. He had Addison one-step slant at the top of the screen, scrambles, and the plaster job when Sam Darnold left the pocket by Detroit's secondary was flawless.
3 points on 12 goal-to-go attempts. Meanwhile, Detroit doing what they do. That's a 4th down conversion to Gibbs. That's one of 4 touchdowns that Jahmyr Gibbs would score on the night. He'd run for 3 and catch that one. Marcus, he took over this game.
Took over this game and this offensive line. This is identity football for Detroit, though. We know once they feel and smell blood, they are going to attack and needle you in exactly that same spot, and that's why we see Gibbs.
How you feel blood?
You feel it trickling down.
You're seeing it right there. The speed,
you look at
dynamics, 23 carries, 139 yards, and those 4 touchdowns for Jahmyr Gibbs as the Lions pull away in the second half and lock up the 1 seed in the NFC. Tough night for Sam Darnold last night. Lions get the win they desperately need, and so the road to the Super Bowl in the NFC will go through the Motor City. The field is now set. Here we go.
Let's go.
Kansas City and Detroit are the 1 seeds. Saturday's games, Chargers, Texans, Ravens, Steelers. Then the Sunday, the triple header highlighted by Packers, Eagles. Our game Monday night on ESPN and ABC. Minnesota falling to 5. They will open at the Rams. There are 2 road favorites. The Chargers are favored on the road. The Vikings are favored on the road. Damien Woody, I come back to you as we sit back and analyze what we saw last night. What was the first thing you said to me coming out of Lions-Vikings?
If the Detroit Lions play like they did last night, particularly on defense, they're going to be in New Orleans representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. Aaron Glenn was in his bag last night, okay? Aaron Glenn was between the way he mixed up his coverages, the pressures, the way the defensive line got after Sam Darnold. Like, Sam Darnold was completely uncomfortable last night, and that was all due to the way what Aaron Glenn was doing defensively. And I think the biggest thing that I take away from it was in the red zone, the money zone is what we like to call it. 6 points on 4 drives in the red zone. That's championship football. When you can hold teams down in the red zone and prevent them from scoring touchdowns and kicking field goals or even just turning them away, that's how you find your way to New Orleans.
And that's not just any team, Rex. That's Darnold, who had been as hot as anyone, and it's Jefferson, and it's Addison. That is an outstanding offense. And Aaron Glenn, for those, he's the defensive coordinator of Detroit. And by the way, Shefty is reporting he's expected to, the Jets, Bears, and Saints are all expected to request interviews with Aaron Glenn for their head coaching opening. What did they do last night that won this game?
They were so multiple. And just what you talked about, D. Wood, that, look, sometimes all-out pressure. Sometimes they're playing 2-man coverage or, mixed coverage. Sometimes they're playing zone. So to me, they changed the picture. And they were able to consistently get pressure on the quarterback, sometimes with 4, sometimes 5, sometimes 6. And it just sat back. Sam Darnold looked like, was he seeing ghosts again? I don't know. But he had no confidence. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was about. Make him, hesitate, before he throws. That's what Aaron Glenn did. Yep. So it was a multiple package, a professional game plan. It wasn't a, 2 coverage, 1 front type thing. And they played to win. That was the difference. We've seen the whole time up until this point, they always play to that offense. Let's just not mess it up.
Yeah.
Well, no, they played to win defensively as well as offensively.
Marcus, so I feel like we've spent on this show a lot of time the last 4, 5, 6 weeks talking about the Eagles and how they look like the best team, talking about the Vikings, how red hot they've gotten, all the rest of that. Right this minute, do you agree with D. Wood? Are the Lions your favorite to go to the Super Bowl from the NFC?
Philly.
Still Philly.
Still Philly, man. And I get it. I understand what we just watched with Detroit last night. And on that Detroit point, last night Aaron Glenn said, I'm going to make y'all show me who y'all think Sam Darnold is. That's all that game plan was about. And we going to make the quarterback beat us. We going to blitz his ass. We going to play man. Who in the world plays man-to-man on Justin Jefferson?
Yeah.
Last night they did, because you hear me say this all the time. You got to make a decision on defense. Are we going to cut the head off the snake, or are we going to try to play safe and then condense the field? Aaron Glenn said, I'm going to cut the head off the snake and see if he can execute. Bro, we just looked at red zone opportunities at 21 to 28 points for the Minnesota Vikings that they couldn't execute. I'm not sure if Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown not going to execute those. So I'm not ready to say Detroit is clearly the favorite yet. But what I will say is this. If they get into these situations where they play you late into a game, they will absolutely take over the game.
Yeah.
So you got to get going early.
Fella, this morning I said violence. Like Detroit chose violence and Minnesota didn't. And to your question, if there's one team that you need to play violently against, it's Philly.
Philly, man.
It's you. That offensive line without big, and that's the athletic. You got to go and bring the fight to Philly, because I promise you, Philly's going to bring the fight to you. And so what I saw last night was a team that walked in there and said, you know, I played there when we were terrible. And we would do you got to lock the Lions' den, and we stunk. So he's going to throw a post. This is one of those all-out zero blitzes. But look at the bottom of the screen, the corner. He's butt naked open. He throws that corner out, which is something I've seen him do a ton of times this year. That's a touchdown, but he launches the post. That's a missed opportunity. Down in the red zone, I want you guys to watch up top. There's that Addison one. That's a rub route versus man coverage. For some reason, his eyes get off it so quickly, and that's a throwaway. That's 2 touchdowns that are easily executed if you're not used to getting hit. There's going to be another opportunity down in the red zone. This is the double move versus zero pressure. Jefferson's going to win. Sam, if he just floats this ball to the pylon instead of kind of firming it, that's a touchdown. So I've got 2 missed kind of reads and a missed throw. Now watch the very top of the screen. Right now, there's another rub route versus man coverage. That safety's pinned in the middle. Sam Darnold doesn't throw it. And I do think that this is more attributed to him just getting hit so much that his eyes started to go all over the place and get sped up rather than playing in a calmer sense.
Yeah, I mean, they got him off his spot. And the big thing is when you hit the quarterback, the whole team feels it. And 14 hits on the quarterback. Come on now. He wasn't the only one flinching out there.
Their offensive line got whooped.
So are the coaches. And by the way, so was Brian Flores over there getting out-coached again by Ben Johnson. So the whole team flinched. And to me, that's what happens when you hit the quarterback.
And that's the thing, like for me, that's the thing that makes me think a little bit more encouraged about Detroit. And it does give me a little bit more reservation for Minnesota going to L.A.
You know what I saw in that watching all those highlights? I saw Detroit running the ball in the red zone. Minnesota, absolutely not. When you get down in condensed spaces, you got to be able to run the football.
But that's Minnesota's MO. They love to throw it down there.
But also that's my point about Philly. You got to, first of all, you got a dual threat in the backfield. You got a receiver that if you play man-to-man, he's going to win 3 or 4 of them, right? And you just got to determine what those 3 or 4 are going to be. Are they going to be touchdowns or are they going to be just big plays? These 2 teams are on a collision course. Oh, yeah. And it's going to be fun to watch how this defense disbands themselves with Aaron Glenn against Philly.
Philly is only a 3.5-point favorite to open against Green Bay this weekend. We'll see just how hurt Jordan Love is. We do expect him to be able to play. Christian Watson looked badly hurt in the game for the Packers yesterday. At this moment, I do not think we expect him to play. Now, Sunday shout-outs. Let's run through all the things that we saw yesterday. Rex, get us started. Who are we shouting out with the Las Vegas Raiders?
Oh, Brock Bowers. Are you kidding me? This guy broke the all-time reception record for tight ends. And who the hell's quarterback? Darryl LaMonica? I don't know, but he had no quarterback play. And this guy, all he did is go in there and break the all-time record. And all those teams, outside of the ones that needed quarterbacks that passed on them, you look kind of foolish.
I'm the only one who got the LaMonica reference up here, but I liked it. Orlovsky, how about another rookie who deserves a shout-out?
Marcus, where are you from?
I'm from that boot.
Where's this kid from?
That boot.
Malik Neighbors.
Louisiana.
Playing with Darryl LaMonica at quarterback many times. He broke the Giants' single-season record for catches with 109. This is a young man that even missed a couple games. Coming out of the draft, it was like, get Malik Neighbors, because he's an absolute rocket ship. There's a lot of unknown with the New York Giants in the future. I promise you, I know this.
Yeah.
They got a superstar at wideout.
D. Wood, how about who gets your shout out?
Come on, Greeny. You already know where I'm going. I'm going with the big boy right here, Michael Pierce. Listen, that boy about a biscuit away from 400 pounds right now. But let me tell you something. He wanted no parts of burning extra calories right there. But this seems to be the year of the thick boys, okay? The year of the thick boys. Hey, Mark, what you call it? What's
Big
your
man
name?
balling.
Big man balling.
Woody, it's
Big man
always
balling
our
been going
year.
on all year.
It's always our year,
It's
bro.
always.
It's always our year.
That was my favorite play of the season. Was that interception by Michael Pierce?
Like
Swagger,
like
you got
piece of
another
thick
one.
cut bacon.
You got another big one.
I'm going to another big fella. My man. Well, first we're gonna show Pierce again.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna tear his ACL on that knee. I'm glad he's okay. Derek Barnett. We making plays all over the place. Scoop and score. We look athletic on this one. We wanted to get to the end zone, unlike Michael
Look how good he
Pierce.
look in his uniform.
Protect the ball. Oh, we switched the ball, so it wouldn't have taken away.
Now we cross cover.
All right? Yeah, let's go, man. Big fella's got to make plays. It's playoff time, man.
Hey, I got to ask you, because we were doing the game, and what did you say when the Pierce stuff happened?
Oh,
Bro.
You know I can't say it on TV.
Bro.
I was just hyped. I was so hyped. You know what I was thinking?
He hit the Eli Manning.
Yeah, buddy. He took that knee, though. I was crying.
double knee.
I was crying when he took that knee.
Man, the
It was my
sideline
favorite play of the season.
to him was.
Yeah.
Some playoff first impressions, AFC games. Rex, Chargers 3-point favorites on the road in Houston. What's your first impression?
Yeah, Chargers basically, I never realized they get a bye. Oh, wait, they got to play the Texans. What's the difference? Texans offense is struggling so bad, they can't protect the quarterback.
Rex be throwing
And
haymakers,
when, look,
though.
the Chargers' #1 scoring defense in the NFL going against that offense, woo, get ready for the next round.
Again, the Chargers are a road favorite. Orlovsky, the Ravens will host the Steelers. Baltimore, a 9.5-point favorite. What's your first impression?
Yeah, they're going to take George Pickens out of the football game. And what you're going to hear during this broadcast is shell coverage, meaning they're going to kind of play with an umbrella over him. They're not going to give him a ton of one-on-one opportunities. When you do that against Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh, this offense struggles mightily. I think that defense and the way that they've played over the last 8 weeks makes this a clear Baltimore favorite.
Again, they're a 9.5-point favorite. The Bills are also a heavy favorite. 9 points at home against Denver. Swagoo, what's your first impression?
Hey, this one is sneaky, scary for me, especially when you talk about the Denver Broncos defense, G. The athleticism up front, the ability to track the quarterback. We know Josh is going to have to use his legs at some point in this game. Will he be able to dominate with some of those big plays and big runs? I'd be interested to see what Vance Joseph does against Josh Allen and how they deploy their secondary against the Buffalo Bills. Patrick Surtain is on this team. I'm sure he'll be around Amari Cooper somewhere, and they're going to make somebody else beat him.
D-Wood, you said the same thing. It is a tough matchup for Buffalo.
I said this is a bad draw for Buffalo. It's a bad draw. Like Denver with that defense, and not only with their secondary, but they got dudes up front that can get after the quarterback. Bunch of guys that can get after. That's going to be a problem for Buffalo. Okay? And then, they got, obviously Sean Payton, terrific head coach. Bo Nix, athletic quarterback that can move around and is accurate. Like, this is going to be a challenge for Buffalo, in my opinion.
What do you think, Rex?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Superman better be Superman in this one. And by the way, what you got to feel good about if you're a Bills fan, you're undefeated at home this season, okay? And your quarterback has the best TD against interception ratio in the history of the playoffs.
History.
That's right, the history.
Yeah.
It's this kid, the guy that's getting ready to win the MVP. It's that guy. So he is Superman in the playoffs. He is Superman when he plays at home, and he better be or they're in trouble.
I completely agree. It's a tough matchup. I think Patrick Surtain and Benito are massive parts of this game for Denver's defense. We talked a little bit about how he plays that Darrelle Revis role, shut down one side of the field. It's Monday. I'm going to tell you how Buffalo wins this game, okay?
Yeah.
James Cook and Ray Davis, they're going to have probably 12 catches combined, 14 catches combined. Denver's defense is fantastic. Anybody that's gotten it after this defense, it's because their backs have been very prominent in the pass game. Something that Buffalo does phenomenally well is throw the ball to their backs. If you remember that Detroit game, that's the way Buffalo wins the game. Their running backs have to be great in the pass game, not just in the run game.
I'm not trying to diminish Denver. They've had a terrific season.
Yeah.
Sean Payton's a great coach. Bo Nix has been a revelation. But Yesterday, they beat a Kansas City team that if they could have forfeited, would have. The 2 previous weeks, they lost and gave up, I think, 68 points to the Chargers and the Bengals. So I'm having a hard time understanding why we don't think Josh Allen is going to be able to take care of business at home in this playoff.
Well, because, one, when you get to the playoffs, it's game plan specific. That's number one. The other thing is you're putting together a whole sample size of what these guys have done this year. This is why Rex know this. This is why Rex was a good coach. Rex in the playoffs kicked people ass because I got 17 games of a sample size. That does not mean Josh Allen is not going to have a day. No, I don't think anybody sitting at this desk don't believe Josh Allen is going to have a day. But the playoffs are a little bit different because you play these things by possession, and then you look at matchups from a personnel standpoint. And that's what Dan and Woody and Rex is alluding to. It's will Josh Allen legs carry the day? Because this secondary now is real back there for the Denver Broncos. And we know that they're going to have to do some of that. So I'm interested to see it. I think Josh Allen right now is in this, I think he's in this mode of it really don't matter who on the other side. I can do what I do. It's everybody else around him that I want.
So I think he's going to win the MVP. But let's talk about his biggest competitor. It's either going to be Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. They both had ridiculously, historically great seasons. And the Ravens are a heavy favorite against the Steelers here. You were just with the Ravens this week. And a lot of people will look at Baltimore and say, well, they've gotten to the playoffs all these years. They keep failing in the biggest spots. What's the difference this time?
Derrick Henry. And they don't gotta get too cute. They don't gotta overthink things. They can literally, and they know this, they can line up and they can be predictable and they can go, stop it.
Yep.
You know, here comes our 5 offensive linemen. We're going to put Patrick Ricard on the field who's 300 pounds, and we're going to give the ball to Derrick Henry. And the way that the people in that building talk about how much he just changes their team. And the saying from Todd Monken was, running the football and keeping ourselves on track gates us the opportunity to do it again. It keeps Derrick Henry on the field. And so if they're capable of running the ball, having Derrick on the field completely changes everything. It changes the people that the defense has on the field. It changes the amount of people you got to have at the line of scrimmage. It changes how people react after the snap. Derrick Henry changes everything.
Rex, for those who are not with us on Sunday mornings, on Sunday NFL Countdown, who was your pick in the AFC?
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's the Baltimore Ravens. But I will say this. This is not the first time that Baltimore's had the best team in the AFC. All right? But it is the first time they've had Derrick Henry.
Correct.
And that's the thing. Look, this Todd Monken did a great job last year until it counted the most.
Right.
And all of a sudden they forgot the running.
And they got a little too cute in that moment. And I think they even say to it, like, yeah, we did. We overthought
it.
100%.
Yeah, but you're not going to get cute when you got a Hall of Fame running back in the backfield and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, especially
you don't forget about that.
And what did you say about his shadow?
I said that.
You said it, Green.
You can't miss him. Like the offensive coordinator, if he's not calling his name, if Derrick just stands close to him, he'll block out the sun.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
what
he'll
is
realize
this?
we got to give him the
That's
ball.
right. Give him the dang football. And that's it. Look, the only time that Baltimore has struggled this year, it's when they forget to give Derrick Henry the ball.